YouTube Ozick Owen, the Goat House is back. Today I'm ranking every single NFL team starting quarterback from 32 to 1 for the upcoming season. Some rules and criteria listed right above me right now. I'll do this for every position group. It's something I do at this time every single year. You guys are probably used to it, so I'm excited for it. So essentially with these rankings, I am predicting the upcoming season. The recency bias, people, is a lot of you out there. Maybe not the videos for you, because I'm not basing everything off last season. Things will change. Not everything, but things will change, of course. Rookies will play this year, so they will be ranked if they are deserving to be being ranked, in my opinion, ahead of some veterans. Some people complain about that as well. It's weird. And then everyone, of course, in the comments, I'm too low on your favorite player. I'm hating on your favorite team or player. It's what everyone says. It doesn't mean anything. It's not going to change my rankings. So, again, we'll do this for every position group. Twitter subscribers will get some bonus rankings once we get going on these. Subscribe to us. We have recent Super Bowl and playoff predictions. In-season content cannot wait for. We have social media accounts and sponsors where we keep you guys involved. So links pinned in the comments for all of that. You can check those out down below. So from 32 to 1, it's for the upcoming season, not based off the past. So 32, I have Baker Mayfield, the Buccaneers starting quarterback for this upcoming year, which Baker could be sneaky. He could have his really good moments and his down moments. I could see the Bucs kind of trying some other things out, maybe with Kyle Trask in there as well. Who knows? Kyle Trask might start week 1. You never know. And the Bucs they'll have a good defense that can compete right now, but I think they're putting themselves in position for the future, so they might, again, try some things out with Kyle Trask or whatnot. 31, I have a rookie, Anthony Richardson of the Colts, which I think he could start the year off strong because it'd be tough to game plan for him and his legs. I think he'll be good on the ground, but he'll struggle here and there. Maybe a bit through the air because he has a ways to go. Obviously, that was the case coming out of Florida. That was the case at Florida, coming out of Florida, and it will be right now. It's okay if he struggles as a passer early on. He's got a bright future, a lot of upside. He'll be a factor on the ground right away for sure. 29 and 30, kind of in the same boat. Sam Howell, Desmond Ridder, they're second-year guys, and they'll kind of play somewhat similar in terms of skill. They're different types of quarterbacks, but they're essentially, to me, they are still prospects. We don't know what they're about yet. They still have upside. They're still prospects in a way. I was a little higher on Howell than Ridder, so I'm going to trust that judgment. They both have pretty good weapons. The Falcons built a pretty complete roster behind Ridder. He's a very good offensive line, so it's not like he has a lot of excuses besides that he's still young and learning. But I'll go Ridder at 30, Howell at 29, Jordan Love. Who knows? The Packers might have found another gem after Favre and then Rodgers, now Jordan Love. I wouldn't base things off of his, that Chiefs game we saw him start in the past. They blitzed the crap out of him. He wasn't really prepared for that game. I don't think we're gonna, I don't think it's fair to expect that constantly from him. I think he'll have his ups and downs, a little bit, of the inconsistencies. Wish his weapons were a little bit better. They did draft pretty well. Russell Wilson at 27. Russell Wilson was uncontrollably terrible last year. He has to be better this year. I think going from Hackett to Sean Payton definitely helps, but how much? I think some people were like, it was all Hackett, not Russell Wilson. Not the case. Hackett was a problem. Peyton will help Wilson be better, but Wilson's also declining as it is. But he'll be better this year. Just not expecting a whole lot better. Kenny Pickett at 26. It's tough ranking Pickett at 26 because I was very much impressed at the end of last year with him, especially closing out games, winning games, kind of being clutch. As a whole last year, he did struggle, especially early on. Not going to wow you a lot, but did show progression at the end of last year and can continue to do that. Kind of a game manager type, even though he was kind of clutch at the end of games. Not going to wow a ton, but could get the job done. I think some other guys, might put the team on the back throughout the whole game. Maybe that could be the difference. Bryce Young at 25, who's more of that wild playmaker. He'll have his ups and downs as a rookie, of course. We'll see if the size comes into play, the durability. But he's talented. He'll have those big game-changing moments. Again, as a rookie, he'll have some down moments as well. And then another Bama quarterback. I have Mac Jones at 24. Mac Jones when he played last year, he looked like one of the very worst quarterbacks in football. He won't be that this year. I think he'll be better. He's ranked down at 24. He'll be better than that, especially with Bill O'Brien in there. Familiar with the Patriots and, Mac Jones' Alabama background. So it was kind of a disaster last year in terms of the style of offense, the playbook, the play calling. They tried to change some things up on Mac Jones and that offense in general. So I think his job will be easier this year. I think he'll look better. Is he going to be like an insane amount better? No, I think it'll be a decent amount better, though. Brock Purdy's extremely tough to rank. Got him at 23. He He looked good last year. I think more of a game plan will be out for him this year. Doesn't mean he takes a big step down, but I think the main thing is a couple things. The injury. It's because of the injury. How many games will he play? Will he be back to normal? That's a weird injury that could affect his arm, his elbow, obviously, but up in his mind as well, up in his head as well. I'm not expecting him to be a completely different quarterback, like go completely south because of the injury, but he is tough to rank because of that. If I can trust him to play every game fully healthy, I'd rank him higher. It's a very tough one. Ryan Tannehill just got DeAndre Hopkins, so that helped him a little bit. He's been declining as well, though. But, having Hopkins and Burks could help him a little bit. And he's still been a solid quarterback. He's been declining, but he's still been a solid quarterback that can go out there and win football games. Maybe not going to wow a whole bunch. And I got C.J. Stroud at 21. He was my number one quarterback in the draft. I know maybe we view Bryce Young as more upside, or some people do. But C.J. Stroud was, not only my number one, but also I think the most pro-ready. Him being very accurate and having the prototypical size. I think he'd come in there and play pretty well right away. Then you factor in what I think the Texans are going to do. I think they're going to run the football first. That's going to open up the pass. He's going to be accurate in his opportunities. The play action pass is going to help him as well. So I like the idea of that. I think it meshes well together. So I think CJ Stroud will play pretty well. I would not be surprised if he finished the year if I ranked him higher than this at the end of the year, like better than this. Those people that complain about rookies being ranked at all, you're weirdos. If you complain about being ranked ahead of veterans, I think you're weird because they're going to play this year. I think people are going to complain that I have CJ Stroud at 21. I think he'll be pretty solid this year. It would not surprise me if he was even better. Out of the top 20, got Daniel Jones at 20. He took a step up last year. He's going to have to take another step up. If he stays the same, he's going to get worse. That's how it works when you're a quarterback. Teams start to game plan for you. So he'll have to take another step up. But he was somewhat impressive last year, taking a step up. He was solid on the ground. He was better through the air, kind of playing things safe. I did notice if you watch, I watch every snap of pretty much every game for everybody. He did have some interceptions taken off the board or some dropped as well. So got to be careful there. Teams will start the game plan for him a little better. But he's got a good coaching staff. And that team maybe got a little bit better around him at the receiver position, not a whole lot, but maybe a little bit better. I got him at 20. Justin Fields, I got at 19. Going to be an interesting one to watch this year, Justin Fields. So still has a lot of upside. He has all the tools, the traits. We know he's a fantastic runner. Some people say Justin Fields can't pass. It's not going to be me that says that because he has the tools and the traits. He has the arm talent. He has everything there. Accuracy could be a little bit better. I'm not super concerned about the accuracy. What it is the processing speed and kind of seeing things a little bit faster there. That's kind of the big thing with Justin Fields. And now his talent around him is better, so that could elevate him as we think is progressing because he's a young player with upside. But I guess it's easier said than done. Just will all that talent, change his processing speed? It could make it easier for him to develop that or get better in that, but he has to go out there and do it. He has to go out there and close out games too. Because last year they were in games at the end, but they couldn't go out there and close them out. Whether it was the offense or defense, I know some games they were scoring a lot of points, but I'm talking about the end of games. So yeah, there's why people are very hyped about him. Like he's getting hyped up big time this year, so a lot of pressure on him. But why people are hyping him up that much? Because the tools the traits are there and they are eye popping. Of course, you need him to be more of a passer than a runner. The running ability is ridiculous, but he has to go out there and put it together first. So we will see. I think at the end of this upcoming season, like how we're going to be looking at him going forward, like I think we're two things here, two scenarios. I think we're either going to be saying like this is a top 10 quarterback coming this for the 2024 season, or he's a backup. I think it's a boom or bust type player, boom or bust type season for Justin Fields. So it's one I really can't wait to see how it unfolds. And then number 18, Jimmy Garoppolo. People forget that Jimmy Garoppolo was playing very well last year when he was on the field. The injury concern, there's some concern about him even playing this upcoming season. He has to pass another physical. I think they have proper weapons for him on that Raiders offense, hoping Josh Jacobs plays, but Devonta Adams, Michael Mayer, there's more, Jacoby Myers, there's more options than just that, but those like guys that just kind of fit Garoppolo ball can make his job a lot easier. So if he stays healthy the whole year, I think he'll be better than 18. Because when he played last year, when he was on the field playing, he almost looked like a top 10 quarterback based on last year, not in general, based on last year, how the other quarterbacks were playing last year. And people don't really realize that. Is he like a special talent on the deep ball? No, he's not going to wow in that category. But in all the other categories, he's pretty solid. Just got to stay healthy. Kyler Murray is a tough one to rank. He would be ranked better than this, but he's going to miss some time early in the season. I can see a scenario where the Cardinals are like, let's not even risk bringing him back. We're 0-4. We're 0-6 right now. We're worried about the future. We have a load of draft picks. That's almost a tanking strategy in a way. I could see that too. So how many games will he play when he does come in, if he does come in, which I would expect him to? I think he'd be pretty good early on, possibly just because it's a totally different system and teams won't know what to expect. But it also will be tougher for him because he was kind of made for that Kingsbury system, like the college style, spread things out for him, make his job easier. Now it's going to be a pro style. It's going to be a West Coast offense. So how will he fit in that at the same time? So he's a tricky one, mainly because how many games is he going to play? Jared Goff at 16, he was impressive last year. This year, Lions, a lot of expectations there, so a lot of eyes on Jared Goff. How will he play? I think there's going to be two groups of people here. I think the recency bias people are going to be like, okay, he was really good last year, so we're going to get that Jared Goff, and they're probably going to rank him much better than 16. And there's other people that kind of can't get it out, out of their heads what he was before last year. Like, it's just Jared Goff, just not good, not completely terrible, but not good. He's going to go back to playing like that, and they'll rank him lower than 16. I'm kind of in the middle. I think he'll play a little closer than what he did last year. I do think defenses will game plan for him better this year. Ben Johnson did a good job calling that offense. A little bit of a mystery how that offense will look last year. And for some weird reason, teams ran a ton, like an insane amount of man coverage against Jared Goff and that Lions offense. I think we'll see more zone this year. So his job could be a little tougher. I do think it won't be far off from how he played last year, which was impressive. Could he even get better from last year? That's a possibility. I'm not really expecting that, but he could be around how he was last year. I got him at 16. Big year for them, some expectations. And the next group of guys here, Geno Smith at 15 was surprisingly, kind of in a similar situation as Jared Goff, was surprisingly good last year. He was actually very impressive last year. And I almost see, like, even at his age, I almost see upside with him. He kind of showed progression. I think teams started to blitz a little bit better and kind of throw him off with that at the end of last year. He would have some good moments against the blitz too, though. But I saw him improving, actually, and picking up more things and being more comfortable. And the Seahawks are just so well coached. The game plan's been out for that type of offense forever, even though there's been some changes here and there with the play callers, the coordinators. But it's nothing, it's not like there's going to be major change there. So I think Geno Smith could be around what he was last year. Matthew Stafford at 14. I think he's more talented than this probably. Even post-injury, he's definitely declined a little bit. He's probably a little bit better, just purely talent than 14. But how many games will he play? Will he be the same after the injury? How many games will he play? I could see the Rams being in a scenario where they're like, okay, he might have a minor injury. He's not 100%. We're more focused on the future. They know what they're doing over there. So maybe kind of a tank situation, perhaps. So maybe they sit him if it's just a minor injury. I can see that. So he's tough to rank because of that. Derek Carr at 13. He wasn't this good last year, but he was that good or better in the past. And going to the Saints, pretty good roster, pretty good team. I think it's a really good fit with the type of players they have. I think he plays pretty well this year. So he's at 13. 12, Tua Tagovailoa. Another tough one to rank because how two reasons. How will his health be, and which Tua are we going to get when he is on the field? Looks like a top 5 quarterback, top 5 last year when he was on the field. Then he was injured, so you probably move him down your rankings. He's missing games, and he comes back, and he didn't look, not that he was terrible or anything, but he wasn't anywhere near top 5 when he came back. So which Tua are we going to get, and then will he be healthy or not? If he's on the field, I think he's going to look pretty good. Is he going to look like a top 5 quarterback? Probably not, but I think he will look pretty good. So I'm going to rank him 12. Fingers crossed with him staying healthy. Some of those guys like that are very tough to rank. Kirk Cousins at number 11, been super consistent, very productive last year. Second year under Kevin O'Connell. Helps that he has Justin Jefferson, now Jordan Addison and company, TJ Hawkinson. Definitely helps. We know we're going to get from Kirk Cousins. He's going to be very solid. He's borderline top 10. We have him at 11. I actually considered higher. I think, he's very close to being in the top 10 for me. What it came down to is I think there's 10 more talented quarterbacks that I think will be on the field for the most part or all of this season. That's kind of what it came down to why he's 11. But also, contract year for Kirk Cousins, I think we all can see it. We all can see him playing his way into another insane contract, probably an overpaid contract. I think we all can see it. So I think he'll play like it's his contract year. And I'm not necessarily saying the Vikings will give him that contract, but so I think we know we're going to get. I think we're going to have something similar to last year. I could actually see a little bit better for Kirk Cousins. So we're now around the top 10. Again, this is predicting essentially the upcoming season. Number 10, I have Deshaun Watson. There's a lot of people going to be much lower. Maybe people will have Kirk Cousins in the spot, for an example. Watson, again, I think people have lower because they're basing things off what they saw at the end of last year, or because they don't like the guy and they don't want him to be good. We're just predicting here. We're not putting anything else into it as much as, if you want to or not, if you want me to or not. But I cannot base things off of last year. It's going to be a lot different, more reps with the team in practice and offseason with the team. And the Browns, even though they choked some games where they look pretty good, even with Jacoby Brissett, even though the record might not have showed it completely, they'll figure it out with a better quarterback in Deshaun Watson. He will be better than how he played it in last year. There's a chance he goes back to that elite or close to elite Deshaun Watson. Not saying I'm counting on it. There's a chance that even happens. So I will rank Deshaun Watson, who has a really good roster behind him in the Browns, in the top 10. Dak Prescott at number 9. He turned the ball over a little bit last year. He wasn't really that guy before that. So some people, the recency bias, people are like, he's going to continue to turn the ball over, turn it over. Maybe some people, the Cowboys fans, are like kind of going back to the year before Dak Prescott, there wasn't a huge difference in talent, skill level. Like the skill level is still there. I think he'll cut down on the turnovers. I think he'll play better this year, but he was still a good quarterback last year overall. So I will rank him at 9. Lamar Jackson's all about staying healthy. If he can stay healthy the entire year, he can be better than 8. Or he can stay healthy the entire year and he can be at 8, Or he can be injured a few games and he can be at 8 or drop below that, or he can be injured for a lot of games and he's not going to be in the top 10. Probably not close if he's injured for a lot of games. So, but the talent is definitely there. New offense coordinator Todd Monken, that's going to elevate him. That's going to get more out of him in the passing game. That's going to throw teams off, opposing defenses in terms of their game plan, what to expect. So, big year for Lamar Jackson. Jalen Hurts, I guess somewhat similar in terms of a quarterback that can really run, be a factor on the ground, but then also could pass. Hurts probably was better than number 7 last year. I think teams will game plan for him a little better this year, and he lost his coordinator, Shane Steichen. So maybe I don't really view it as a drop-off for Hurts. I ranked him at 7. I think I view it more as other guys, like the guy we're going to talk about next, getting better and just kind of passing him up because they have more upside. They're supposed to have more upside coming in. They still do now. So it's more of that. I think Hurts' job will be a little bit tougher this year because, again, no Steichen. Teams might, it was a mystery last year. Teams might game plan a little better for him, but he's still going to be very good, very talented. Why I ranked him at 7. Trevor Lawrence at number 6. Kind of go this video last year, the exact video that I do every single year. Let's go back to last year. I ranked Trevor Lawrence somewhat high. I ranked him ahead of Mac Jones, and did I get ripped in the comments? And again, with these, I project the upcoming season. But to me, it was very easy to rank Lawrence there because he had that talent in him. I'm not going to base everything off of that first season he had, the previous season at that time. The talent is in him. It's about getting it out of him, projecting what he can be. It was very easy to me. So I'm going to do it again. I think he takes another step up. It shouldn't be a shocker. People shouldn't be blown away by me thinking he's going to take another step up. He's a very talented quarterback with a ton of upside. Another year under Doug Peterson. He's even got Calvin Ridley in there now. He's going to take another step up. He's a very good quarterback with a very bright future. I'm going to predict him to be the number 6 quarterback in football this year. Would not surprise me if he was better. Wouldn't surprise me if he was closer to that 10 spot either. But this is my prediction here. There's a reason he was supposed to be a great quarterback, because he is going to be a great quarterback, and he took a major leap last year. Not going to stay the same as what he was last year. Even if he does, it's probably good enough. But, of course, a guy like that, you want to be even better. Let's go on to our big top 5 this upcoming year. I got Aaron Rodgers at 5. I really thought about Trevor Lawrence, maybe Jalen Hurts ahead of Aaron Rodgers. Those guys are so close because Rodgers took a little bit of a step down last year, just a little bit. I thought, well, I guess maybe more than a little bit compared to the MVP seasons, which were the previous years. But, so is he getting better? No. So maybe you want to rank him just outside the top 5, but he's out to prove something, it feels like. That's what it feels like. That's his mentality. That's the mentality of the greats. That they put together a Super Bowl winning roster, a caliber roster, I should say. Not that I'm saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. They can definitely win the Super Bowl, but they're ready to win. So I think he's going to play at a pretty high level here. So I had to put him in the top 5. But it is interesting, see all these quarterback that's been somewhere else for so long. How will he be on a different team as he's aging? You think Russell Wilson in the back of your mind, like what happened with him? I don't think anywhere near what happened there is going to happen to Aaron Rodgers, but it keeps you thinking, like, could there be a step down? There could be. Lawrence, Hurts, maybe more than that, could be ranked ahead of Rodgers in the year. Justin Herbert, I see other people kind of ranking him lower. I see a lot of that, fans maybe like not really hyped about Herbert in terms of top 5. I think Herbert's ridiculous talent. Like, his highs say he could be the very best in football. It's pretty tough when you have Patrick Mahomes there, especially in the same division, but his big moments are like, man, they're like, Mahomes might be the only guy that can make that type of play, those types of throws. So Herbert has those. He's only getting better. To me, he's very, very good. I wish the coaching was better there, but they do bring in Kellen Moore. That's big time. Hopefully his offensive line stays healthy. You wish he can close out games because it is on the quarterback. Wins and losses go on the quarterback. I do think a lot of times it's really not Herbert, not closing out the game. I think it's the coaching or just mistakes or the defense or whatever it may be. But you do want him to go out there and because he's a great quarterback. He can be a great quarterback, so your team should be great then. So I guess that's the knock on him. It's not really a big knock for me. I have him at 4. Josh Allen at 3. Josh Allen, needs to get over the hump in the big games. Needs to take care of the football in the big moments, but he also makes the big-time plays that really no one could make, or maybe Patrick Mahomes could just make in the big-time moments at the same time. You just want that to continue like in those big games where, sometimes they'll have that reckless interception or play that could cost them. It's not always when they lose. It's definitely not always on Josh Allen. In the playoffs, they're giving up a lot of points. The defense can't really stop anything, but he's a phenomenal talent, elite talent. It does sound like he wants to run a little bit less. So will that could make the game be tougher for him because teams don't have to worry about that. Doesn't really stretch out the defense. So we'll see there. I hope he doesn't really run less, but I guess for his health, the future may be. But he's a phenomenal talent here. Got to take care of the ball in big time moments a little bit better. I have him at number 3. A lot of people would put him at 2. I don't really have to think much for my 1 and 2. I think those are kind of firm for me. I think Josh Allen's going to be locked in at 3. Can he win the MVP and be the best player in football at any given time? He could be, but I actually could see Herbert, if he just wins more, he could be number 2. Trevor Lawrence, if he continues to progress at the rate he is and become that generational talent that we thought he could become, then he can be up there as well. So maybe those guys have the opportunity to hop a guy like Josh Allen very easily. I could see that. But I do have Joe Burrow at number 2, maybe the most accurate quarterback in football, and he has that big playability, the ball placement, the touch, how smart he is. He has to face pressure all the time because, the offensive line's been struggling. His offensive line be better this year. It should be better this year. He has the weapons, obviously, so that helps him as well. Just a phenomenal talent, consistent. It got better as the year went on. I think the last 2 years, but I was mainly about to say last year. To me, he's locked in number 2. Patrick Mahomes locked in at number 1 for me. The best player in football, and he continues to prove it over and over again. You try to get creative and say this guy will probably be better this year just because, hey, it's just 1 year. Anybody, again, somebody else, Burrow, Allen, Herbert, Rodgers, Lawrence, Hurts, whatever, they can win the MVP this year and be better than Mahomes, but it's tough to predict that because Mahomes continues to prove again and again that he's the best, that he has the most talent, that other guys, he can make plays other guys can't make, and just continue to get better and continue to find ways to win games and just be the most clutch, just be the best in general. Pretty much in every phase. So I have Patrick Mahomes at number 1 still. No reason to get cute there, get creative there. But again, other quarterbacks can do it. So again, we'll be doing this for every position group, something similar. And it is, again, basically me predicting the upcoming season with these because who cares about the past right now? We're moving forward. We're excited for this upcoming year. So that's the reason I do it. Something I do every single year at the time of this year. So cannot wait for the rest of these to come out. And I cannot wait for our in-season content. That wraps it up. Let me know your rankings. We're always talking to you guys on our Twitter. Link pin in the comments for that, as well as our sponsors, other social media. But you can let me know your rankings, your thoughts in the comments. If you want to give me top 5, top 10, all top 32, it'd be pretty cool. It's going to do it, though. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.